In this Clash of Clans video, I will show you both of my war attacks from one of our recent wars here at crunch time in order to break down the bases and explain to you exactly how you should be planning out your attacks. One of them is going to be a 3-star, so we will break down the base and tell you why I chose this strategy, but the second attack is a 2-star, so we're also going to show you how you would adapt that because it was super close. And we also have a couple of other bonus Town Hall 10 attacks at the end of the video. Let's get into it. Okay guys, let's dive into this first attack. When I am planning out an attack at Town Hall 10, the first thing I look for are the Inferno Towers. Where are they and what are they set to, either single or multi? In this one you can see they are both within the base and they are both set to multi. So straight away you've got certain strategies in your head in terms of can you actually break in, get a queen charge into that area, which you potentially could. Lava Loon, you've got to make sure that your balloons would get through that, but then I am looking at the sweepers. Where exactly are they? So you can see 1 point across to the west of the base and 1 point across to the east, which means if we came in with an air attack, we could come in from either the north or the south. Now the other thing I noticed about this base was that we have one wizard tower here and the multi and all of the rest of the splash down towards the south. What that leaves is this top corner of the base with no splash cover. So what I was thinking is, can I get a bat spell into that area, or a number of them, and basically send my dragons in towards one of the other areas? Like I said, that would either be from the south or the north. So how did I go about choosing where to put them in? I've kind of already started thinking through a drag bat in my head. So looking at the bottom of the base here, you can see the queen is more offset to the bottom. If anything, you want your dragons coming in to take her out in order to get through the base. What I was thinking is if I set the funnel on either side here, I could then send the dragons straight in. They would take the queen, they'd take all of these splash damages out, or something would take them all out. Then I could bring a slammer into this top area before I bring my bats through. So in order to set the funnel, the king can basically do this area down at the bottom here. He can take all of that. The queen can take this area and hopefully she could step up, get the wizard tower, the archer tower, and that would actually set the funnel for my dragons to come straight through this area here. Now, in terms of the queen, how do I make her step up to these two buildings? So if I place the queen here, the mortar will then be attracted onto my queen. I can then sneak a couple of wizards onto these buildings in order to take that down and basically force her up to this area. There was a Tesla here as well, which I knew I would be able to get. That then means the king can take out this area. We've taken out all of this, and you can see now how the dragons will come through. The air sweeper is not really within its radius, so we should be good from there. With the slammer easily being able to hit this archer tower and move through this little area, but I did think once the slammer goes down, because there's an air defense there, I can use a haste spell in order to make sure I get the multi and potentially even a wizard tower. Now moving over to the bat spell portion, how do I do this? I could put the rage spell and all of the bats right here in the center. That's traditionally how you would deploy your bat spells, but many of you might have seen the bat wave technique. Now this is why it works. If I were to place all of my bats here, yep, I'm directly on top of the defenses, I can start taking them out, but I have one expo, archer tower, 2 expos, 3 expos, another archer tower. I have 3 archer towers, 3 expos, an air defense, all of that shooting all of my bats at the same time. You'd be surprised as to how, when they are spawning, they'll just be getting taken straight out. So what I can do is deploy all of them right to the right hand side of the base, and as they come in, they take this air defense out, but look, they are just out of range of them 2 expos. They're out of range of this archer tower. So actually they start moving through the base here, taking defense by defense, and they've had time to spawn to where they are all in one massive group. They can take them down quicker, they are not taking as much fire, they've got more DPS. It works very well if you can bring them into an area where there's no splash. When you need to put the bats on the defenses is if you need to take a splash damage defense down. Perhaps you freeze it and then they take it down, the bats can spread from there. There's no other way around it. You can't bring the wave in unless you can freeze it and ensure the wave gets to the splash damage first. What that then leaves is the potential that this wizard tower hasn't gone down and perhaps the dragons have drawn this way. There's a wizard tower here. So I have a backup plan. I have one freeze spell which I could use anywhere. I could use it in the middle of the base if the wizard towers go down, and also I have one giant to bring in to distract just in case. And let's get into the attack, guys. I did know that there was a Tesla over here in the corner, so I decided to put one loon there in order to take that out before my bat wave comes in. The first thing I decided to do though is put the queen into this area like we talked. That then enables me to get these wizards in here and start taking this out, because this is a little bit of a slow process. So in order to be time efficient, I get that queen in nice and quickly, and you can see that that area is working very well. You might have seen the balloon up in that right hand corner just to make sure that Tesla goes down, in order that when I put my bats in, I'm not losing a couple to the Tesla. The king amazingly comes down the bottom here. I wasn't expecting that. I thought he would come up the top, but not to worry. The queen pops her ability and look at that. We've got that funnel set for the dragons to come straight through, and we can kind of avoid the sweeper as well. Couple of balloons in front just in order to test for any bombs, and I do decide to bring one dragon in here to try and help the funnel a little bit since the king didn't quite set it up. And again, I bring my dragons in from the bottom here so they can quickly take out the air defense. They can hopefully get that queen as well, and look, this wizard tower is most certainly about to go down. In comes the slammer from the top with that haste spell. Now, to be honest, the haste is definitely misplaced. I could have put it a little bit deeper into the base for greater effect, but now the bat spells come in, look, right as the dragons are coming through this area, and all of the splash is now down, so I don't have to worry as much about that freeze. However, a freeze spell is very transferable. You can get value with it no matter what. Now, the giant on the opposite side here, I'd probably put in a little bit early. The idea was being to try and distract as the troops came through, but not to worry. There's so many bats left that they sweep through that area. We have the queen alive, we have dragons alive, we have the bat spells alive. So much to overwhelm the rest of the base, and that is where just planning out each section in terms of when you can take down what with what troops will make sense to you. So there you have it. That was my 3-star attack from this war. Let's dive into the second attack for this video, which was a Kill Squad Hog Riders. And again, I don't do these videos breaking down in a little bit more depth too often, but if you do enjoy them, be sure to subscribe for all of my Clash of Clans videos. Now, the next base we had, this was a no dip. It was just a random spin, so congrats to Blitz and War on getting the victory. But base number 33 was the one that I attacked. Now, let's quickly have a look and see. Where is it? Base number 33. There's my attack. I actually attacked based on a different one which we had on this base. And let me have a look where it is. I can't quite find it. There it is, Noah with his second attack. So, what Noah did is actually what I thought would work. Sending a slammer into this area, which would essentially get the king, the queen, and the CC. When I first looked at this base, I'll break it down in a second, this was the plan I had in my head, but there was a scout there, so clearly you're going to watch anything that lets you see any opportunities. And when I watched it, I thought, oh, Noah's done exactly what I was thinking, and it didn't quite work. So he wanted the Valks to take out all of this so that his heroes could then be used sacrificially somewhere else. But actually what happens, he runs out of steam, and the heroes have to be deployed to get the CC, and they don't get too much value from there. We're not going to really watch the rest of the attack, although we do find out there's giant bombs on the outside of the base. Let's dive into my attack and tell you how I thought. Let's change this up. So if we go to my team, back to me, replay 1. So this was actually my first attack. What I thought then was, okay, Why do I think the Slammer is a good option here? Well, look at what we could get. We could get the king, we could get the queen, and we could get the CC. That's the main objective here. Why doesn't it work? Well, it doesn't work because we have 1 bomb tower, 2 bomb towers, wizard tower, wizard tower. There's so much extra value, damage here, expos firing in. There's just too much for the kill squad just on the CC. But then I thought, well, why don't I send my heroes, the king and queen? They were there to take out the CC for him anyway. Why don't I send them in and potentially just take out some of this stuff? So it's quite easy. Look at the buildings on the outside. You can actually bounce these with bowlers. Same here as well. This one's a little bit more tricky because the mortar is just out of range for it. Then we could put wizards in as well and send a wall wrecker straight through this side with the king, queen, and then we're essentially taking out all of this. So let's dive into the attack basically, and let's see how that pans out, because the funnel does take a little while. So again, I'd carefully placed out each one of these troops. In they come, bowler getting a bounce, the minion out of range of anything else. 1 wizard can help with that. Same at the top of the base. We can cut the funnel very nicely, so everything has to come straight into the base. Now I did know that there were 3 ground-based skeleton traps within the base, and I was considering taking 2 poison spells, but actually you can see I decided to take a freeze. Now the reason for that, I was expecting my troops to get straight into the middle here, and I thought, look at this, I can actually freeze an archer tower, a cannon, a bomb tower, and a wizard tower. That is epic value. I think I will leave the skeleton spells, or the skeleton traps, and utilize that freeze. However, you can see that the wall wrecker actually comes a little bit further up to the top and allows my troops to get through that. So the freeze spell actually doesn't give me that much value. I alter the position in order to clock this multi-inferno, but it doesn't give me as much value as I had hoped. However, look at what we got. So much more value than that first kill squad. The king and queen come in with the Valkyries, and they actually take all of this out. They don't just get the CC, they take it all out. So the Hog Riders then come in. We know there's a giant bomb here that we have to use a heal spell with. We have to use one here by the multi as well for that other giant bomb. But as they come through, watch the queen here getting this wizard tower. If this wizard tower goes down, it is a 3-star. Or if I had the poison spell for the skeleton traps, it is a 3-star. As the Hog Riders come down to this area, look at all of the skeleton traps. We have to then use the heal as the giant bomb has gone off here, and as they come around to the side, they basically then just get fried. So if I had a poison, I could basically stop all of these skeletons from getting through my Hog Riders. If this wizard tower had been down, if I'd have saved Hog Riders or anything to sneak in, or if the queen had got it, all of that damage wouldn't have been on my hogs, and essentially they would have got through the rest of that. I've got more than enough for cleanup. Yes, these buildings didn't go down, but the wizard I basically placed at the top to try and help with the Hog Riders. That would have been placed here. So essentially it just fell short. Now how would I adapt this attack? First of all, I would take a poison spell instead of that freeze spell. Secondly, I actually had more than enough Hog Riders coming through. I would save a couple to just bang onto that wizard tower, and that would most definitely get me the 3 stars. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and be sure to leave a like if you have enjoyed this one, breaking my attacks down a little bit more, showing you the rationale behind it and how you should be breaking down bases in order to try and get the 3 stars. Even if you don't, it will help you to progress as a player. Let's show you a couple of other very nice 3 stars from this war. Again, if you want to join Crunch Time or any of the UK War Alliance clans, you can drop down into the description and you will find the links for all of my social media, including my Discord, where you can then see all of the different clans that I cover. On this one though, we are coming in with the miners, and I wanted to show this because I always appreciate a good queen charge into a base to get maximum value. So on this one, we are cutting out the top area of the base for the queen to walk down, and she's taken up so much value already. Now the wall wrecker comes through and is aiming to get right into the center here for the queen to take all of this down. Now essentially there are no infernos which will get anywhere close to our healers, so we don't have to worry about that, although granted that is pretty close. And the queen is able to directly target the air defense, keeping the healers at range, so we don't have to worry about that either. The queen is able to get in, get some air defense down out of the way directly towards it. Again, if anything hits the healers, that is your main threat here. We're also able to take down the CC, the queen, expos, a lot of high damage, and wait until you see towards the end just how much extra the queen comes into play. So the king comes in this area in order to set the funnel for our miners coming straight through the middle. Look at this area here, that is huge damage, but the queen is still soldiering on with the healers. She's going to take out that final air defense, then pop across and basically take all of them Teslas. We now pop her ability because there is super damage coming into the queen there. She takes that out and then steps up to get the multi as the miners move around the bottom area of the base. That is where, guys, keeping your queen alive is super important. It might not have come off in this one if the queen had went down earlier on, because she got so much value there. So again, it's not a necessity to keep your queen alive, as long as you can get the value from the queen charge. Sometimes she'll go down and the healers will swap to your other troops, and actually you've got the value, it has been worth it. But if you can keep her alive, be sure to try and do that, because you've had a perfect demonstration there as to the extra value she can bring. She even came down and got a wizard tower there, which no doubt helped the miners through. The importance of a queen charge there. If you are thinking of trying queen charges, just get out into friendly challenges and get practicing. So here is another one, this time with the dragons, and I wanted to show you this because it's a brilliant demonstration of how when you break down a base, you can still get it to work even if it doesn't go to plan. A fresh hit here. We're taking out some buildings with a baby dragon, but a Tesla pops, and this is going to cause our queen to go in the other direction. What do we want here? We want the queen up and over. She can take out one air defense, two air defense. She can walk right down and take out the other air defense as well. Look at this. The healers would probably be just out of range of these multis. Yes, we've got sweepers that would push the healers back, but there's never any area where the queen would be under major damage. Every time there's a point defense, she would pop it off before she then took any extra damage. She would be able to wipe out these air defense at the top. We'd be able to set the funnel and power the dragons through the middle. That, I believe, was the intention. However, we still get this done effectively, and the adaptation within this tack is fantastic. So the queen gets drawn down to the Tesla, and from there, unfortunately, there is no way to turn her back around. Sometimes you are at a loss, and at this point she's coming down to the bottom. So what can we do? We try and force her into the base here, so we have to send the king in early to cut the funnel here and send the jump spell in. That will allow her into the base. Like I said, I do believe he wanted to jump in over here somewhere to then power into these defenses, but we jump in at the bottom here, take out the CC. We're going to get in and get the queen here as well, and then we can target the top with the dragons from there. So as the queen comes in, the king has done a good adaptation, setting up the funnel as the queen comes in. She's then going to get the value here, and then we can force our way in from the top. So we do bring one dragon in to try and help down the bottom here. Again, there's no air defense. These buildings are attracted to the queen, to the king, and the barbarian, so the dragon can actually get pretty good value. We then force the other dragons to the multi-inferno whilst the slammer comes in order to try our best to keep out of the way of these sweepers. Again, if we came in from the south, the dragons wouldn't be coming into them. Right, it's pretty hectic, isn't it, guys? But the dragons are in. We've created the funnel. They've got through so many buildings, and essentially when they get to these back-end air defenses, we've actually still got through it effectively enough that we've got more than enough to just overwhelm it. So yes, whilst they take a bit of damage, we can overwhelm it as the queen is now still alive. We have the troops within the stone slammer. Out they come. No more splash damage. Boom. Job done. Base wrecked. Beautiful stuff. So let me know down in the comments if you would have changed anything on my attacks, especially the fail. Again, I don't mind showing my fails on the video. Everyone fails from time to time. That's just how it is. You've got to look at it. What could you have done better and how can you improve? So be sure to share your thoughts down in the comments. If you do want to see the best Town Hall 10 attacks right now in the game, I've linked them on the screen right now, but that is going to wrap it up. Until next time, guys, peace out.